So very quick, no slides. Most efficient project of the whole 2 days, no doubt about it, because in the end we've decided we're not going to write a single line of code. We spent 2 days discussing and reverse engineering various bits of the caTissue data structure and also our own API client that we are currently using for the BRICS project in order to do a bit of work on making it appropriate for the GenVasc study. That work's ongoing. I'll finish it off probably during the course of next week. But I think it's fair to say I came to the hack day with a very clear idea of what I wanted, which was a version of that API client for caTissue, which would be generic and customizable, and that could be therefore offered as part of the BRISSKit stack to sit on top of caTissue, and individual BRISSKit users would be able to configure multiple versions of the same API client interface, one for each study that they had populated within caTissue. And I thought I knew exactly what I wanted, and it took about 10 minutes of talking to Sri about how we'd implement that for me to realise that I was in fact an idiot, and that instead of writing an API client to supplement the functionality of caTissue, that the right way to solve the problem was to break down all of the features of the API client into a series of feature requests for caTissue, and leave Sri to do all the hard work of actually implementing each of those feature enhancements into the core code of caTissue, and then we could sit back and put our feet up because we wouldn't be responsible for maintaining the code, he would. So that's my output of the 2 days, is I've realised that I don't need to produce the thing that I thought I needed, because we're going to find a way of adding the functionality that we want directly into the core code of caTissue itself. I think, all joking aside, there's quite a useful point there about when is it appropriate to use an API and write something, and when is it appropriate to enhance the core functionality of the product that you're working with. And with open source, that's a choice that we get to make. Obviously, if the core product we were working with was Microsoft Excel, that just wouldn't be an option. But because we're working with open source tools, we can choose the most appropriate way to solve the problem. And because the functionality we're talking about is really related to the core use of caTissue to enter sample inventory data about the management of samples within a specific research project, actually on a kind of philosophical level, the right place to do that is within the core functionality of caTissue. It's not an enhancement in the way that an integration with CiviCRM or with i2Bits or so on would be, where perhaps use of the API would be the right thing to do. What we were trying to do was make up for weaknesses within the core user interface of caTissue, and the right way to make up for a weakness in the core UI is to fix the core UI. So that's what we're now going to do, and it's because Sri came over to the UK and opened our eyes that we've been able to see that.
Great. Very good. Yeah, great solution.